Hey folks, welcome back for more Let's Play Stationeers. I want to apologize for not having a video last week. The next project that's coming up is turning out to be quite the endeavor. At this point I've pretty much got it all worked out though, so we might get started on that toward the end of this, but primarily I've just got a few base upgrades I want to do before we dive into that, because it's going to be a doozy. So, off screen before starting, I made a little mining trip and got some more gold. And I'm going to get together some parts, and we've got a few different things that I want to do to improve things here. But before I do that, I want to share a little discovery I made. Actually, I don't need to go in here to do that, though. So, Stationeers is pretty good at modeling realistic scientific principles. But there's one thing that, well, it's not a perfect simulation. The way it handles gases is pretty good. And with like this greenhouse, each of these grid squares, if you will, is its own sort of atmospheric unit. And they're all connected to each other, and the same applies for segments of pipe. So with our cooling system here, the valve on this end opens, connects it to the interior atmosphere inside the greenhouse. And then we've got this volume pump on the end that we have turned on and running at a low speed all the time. It's not especially efficient, but well, let's delicately remove this first. But the idea is that in the real world, if you want to cool a particular mass of air, you'd pass it through your cooling system and back out the other side. However, I've discovered that there's a better way. We remove these. Now we just got a dead end in this pipe system. And what I've discovered is the valve will kick on, and essentially the gases in the pipe and the gases in the greenhouse will become one unit, and it'll attempt to equalize those temperatures and pressures. Once the temperature decreases, the valve will close again. And previously, our pump would pull what was in the pipes back out into the greenhouse. However, what I learned is if we just leave that gas in there, then it works just fine. There are two benefits to this. One is the saving of power, where we're not having to use the pump running all the time. And the second benefit is that the gas that remains in the pipe after the valve closes continues to cool. So the next time the cooling system kicks on, it's that much colder and cools the combined gases down that much faster. So by removing this vent and that pump, we are actually saving a fair amount of power and actually cooling faster. It's counterintuitive, but it does work. Let me find all my pieces and get this put back together. There. Alright, I'm gonna go find that pump now, wherever it flew off to, and I'll get the parts ready for our projects today. Okay, so first and foremost, these plants in here, they're still holding in there, but they're starting to decay a bit, and we need to harvest those and replant. So we need a place to store that. So we've got a refrigerated vending machine and some chutes to feed into it. We're gonna tear into this wall and pretty much use the only available space on this front wall. Start with this inlet. Alright, that ought to match up. Get this wired in. There we go. Switch it on. Looks pretty good. Go on in here and test that out. There we go. So I'm gonna go in here and do a quick harvest and replant. And we'll move on to the next project. Alright, these are all harvested and replanted. Sun's not up, so they haven't sprouted yet. They're good to go. Let's head on to our next little project. So, if you recall from our last episode, we had a bit of an expansion to our solar power production, and I noticed that during the day, all of our batteries will be full, and we're actually losing production. So here we have 6 more batteries, cables to connect them, and 8 frames, 8 steel sheets. I'm gonna clear off a little space back here and expand our power storage. Let's start by clearing the ground here. While I'm at it, I'm actually going to go ahead and clear off more because I have plans for this space under here. Let's get that pushed back pretty far. That might be far enough for what I have planned. But for now, what we really care about is this row right here. Okay.
Jetpack on.
All right. That's got us a greatly expanded power storage system. And in my testing, I've seen that the solar panels we have installed are enough to fill these in time. So let's talk about what's on the horizon. The big project that bogged me down and resulted in no video last week is going to be a workshop. And we're going to have a proper habitable atmosphere. We're going to have a place to store our food and have our machines and do our IC10 code. It's all going to be built under here. I've already worked out pretty much all of the details. Again, that's what took me so long. It's one of those projects where just got one more thing to do, and then about the time I finished that, I realized, oh, I've got one more thing I've got to do. But the prototyping stage is done. Now I just have to figure out how to record it in a orderly and sane fashion. But that will be for next week. Sorry to cut it short this week, but kind of wanna put this stuff in this episode, and then when we get started on that workshop project, we'll be able to give that our full attention. That may be a multi-part video, but in any case, it's gonna be a big one. For now, I appreciate you guys stopping in. Again, I apologize for no video last week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.